So after a long time, I think I started this in 2016, I finally got my BMS done on my battery pack. And this is 70 kilowatt hours out of a Tesla. This used to be 140, but I sold off some of it. This is a Simp BMS from Tom Debris. Shows you all of the cell information. And it uses the factory Tesla slave boards. Up here is the current sensor. Had to neck it down pretty good to get it to fit. But that's 1/2 inch copper bar. So I ran this pack for about 3 years with no BMS at all, off-grid. I only had one little whoopsie where the generator didn't start, and it got down to I think 3.1 volts per cell, and there was a 100 millivolt difference, and that prompted me to finally get the BMS done. And once the battery started charging again, it went back to being about 30 millivolts was the maximum cell difference. I've used these at 150 amps each just because I've got so many in parallel that it doesn't really matter. It could probably be fused at 50 amps each or less and still not be a problem. Right now, looks like we're running a load of laundry because we're using 7,800 watts. See, basically most of that's solar. Almost nothing's coming out of the battery pack, just about. This is a case that I fabricated for this. Just kind of looks like a big refrigerator, but it's locking and everything to keep kids out. Not sure why the amperage is going so crazy. Might be having a little bit of a error every few seconds in there on the what it's sensing. But it's basically floating between in and out of the battery pack right now. This is one charge controller here, and then in here we've got the other. Well, that's just one of the screens out there, but and then right here I have all these contactors go to the PV side of each charge controller, and whenever the BMS gets to charge cutoff, it'll just cut the PV input on the charge controllers so they stop charging. These are radians, Outback radians, and this is the combiner. I'll open that up and show you inside that real quick. So this is inside of the combiner panel. This is just all the positives for the inverters, and the negatives for the inverters. And then the charge controllers are the smaller ones, and the positive side of the charge controllers are these two. drop down here and hit this bus. And the AC side of this is over here. I was playing around with an old Envoy and some old microinverters with a couple panels, AC coupling them. That's the generator panel, that's the barn panel, and then the inverter AC aggregation panel. So like I was saying, we've been living off of this for about 4 years or so. This battery pack at least. This system here has been in for probably 2.5 years with these newer inverters. Here's the rest of the battery pack. Got a removable back on it in case I ever want to run coolant to the battery modules and stuff, but that's definitely never going to happen. It doesn't need it. These are just some old junk ass lead acid. Just where that goes through the wall there.